Well, starting off with a low battery. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see. After last week's... And we're live with no battery, folks.
Oh, yeah.
Starting off with a thunder. All right, so it's just this one just got to run, right? We don't have any caps on it.
Yeah, no caps, man. This
Fuck
is just
yeah.
live until we decide that
no
it's not.
cap, just live, dude.
All right, so here we are.
Here we are,
Alive and well.
alive and well. Week 3, Eagles are getting boathouse. Jalen Hurts running for his life.
That Cowboys defense pickup of mine looks real good right now.
Yeah, you know they slid some pieces around into some what do you say pivotal positions here, and it's really changed the affect of their defense.
I think the most pivotal position is the fact they're playing the Philadelphia Trash Eagles.
Well, that's part of it, but Jalen Hurts is not like
Garbage? I think he is.
I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think he needs to develop a little bit more as a passer, just like Dak did when he came into the league.
I think Trayvon Diggs thinks he's garbage.
I think Trayvon Diggs is a great player and who's going to be a great player in the league for a while, and he's taking advantage of a quarterback who has not learned all the tricks and traits of how to throw off a defender.
I don't like you wet blanketing my Philly hate, but fine.
Hey, I'm going to wet blanket your Philly hate because I have to be the one non-homer in this conversation right now.
It ain't gonna be me.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be either of you. So I'm gonna be the voice. I'm gonna be the voice of Philadelphia right now.
Not
even necessarily the voice of Philadelphia, just the voice of a objective football fan, and say that I think that Jalen Hurts has at least somewhat of a future in the league.
Okay, that's fine.
That's a very small claim to make. Of course,
I think he's gonna be starting quarterback. I don't think he's gonna be starting quarterback. I don't think he's shown us any reason to think he's gonna be great.
That's true.
But he's shown us that I think he can play at a starting level. He's won games as a starting quarterback. That's more than some people can say. Justin Fields.
I mean, he's athletic, and that will take you very far when you're that age.
Mm-hmm.
But that does fade in quickly. So
also, though, I mean,
you get hit by 240-pound men changes that.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Fields found that out real quick.
Justin Fields had a rough day.
That was. Let's not get into that yet. There's plenty of comments. There's plenty of comments.
We can get it.
I mean, for God's sake.
They put on the bottom line today, they're considering Nick Foles for the job.
I know. Like, fire the man. Fire the fucking man. The fact that you would consider playing Nick Foles over your first-round draft pick at quarterback. How about you fucking scheme up some blocking plans? Like, how about we, like, get a quick throw off to the flat? Oh, am I yelling? Yeah. Sorry. I'm a little heated, folks. It was a rough week for me in fantasy. I'm coming in hot.
You've got a couple rough weeks in fantasy for you now with some exclamation points along the way. Our listeners do not have the pleasure of knowing that I told you to suck my dick after I beat you last week. So I'm saying that now. I hate being a week late, but
It's funny that you should say that because
things haven't gotten better for you.
They haven't, but I believe
you could say they've gotten worse.
You could say they've gotten worse. You could say that the quarterback position is a big question mark for Patty right now.
I think your number one running back is also a big question mark.
Nah. He'll be back. And also, I got Chuba, dude. That's why we keep that waiver claim, baby.
Yeah, you are at the top. You are at the top. And I am number 2, so I'm feeling pretty good about being presumably 3-0. And I don't want to be presumptuous, but our matchup is looking...
It's over.
I think you got it under control. Miles Sanders, though, how's he been doing tonight? Not much, huh?
He's got one run for like 25 yards and like one reception, and they just haven't.
For another 30 yards, so he's got 5.5.
How's Dak? Dak's got a couple
TDs. Dak had 2 touchdowns that were at the inch line that got reversed back to touchdowns. And then
he ran one in.
Then a QB sneak on 4th and goal from the half-yard line. That should have been a touchdown that the referees called a defensive stand and then call stood when they challenged it.
And he was clearly in.
He got robbed of 3 touchdowns.
I saw some of that while I was eating my burger and having an old fashioned on a Billy Max. Billy Max, fantastic establishment, by the way. Anyway, little plug there. Get him on as sponsors here in a few weeks.
This week's podcast brought to you by
Billy Max.
By the bartender. That's right. Old fashions and burgers. Fuck yeah. Anyhow, you also got full on chubbed this week, huh? I'm glad to see that you got chubbed too, and I didn't just get screwed with the CMC.
Green Hunt is better.
Well, and we play each other this upcoming week too, so He looked better this weekend, but
it's easy for me to
Me
say
and you
now.
next week?
me and you next week.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And it's going to be Cowboys,
And I
Panthers.
get no McCaffrey in it, so that's gonna be great.
So Dak.
That's not.
Most likely.
It's not for certain yet, though.
Most likely.
Because so trust me, I've been following him. I've been following McCaffrey. He's like,
Matt
Huck.
Rule, are you going to hurry back Christian McCaffrey?
No,
Nah,
they've literally
you're gonna play
been
Chuba.
reported as saying, "Take your time, come back when you're ready."
Yeah, right. Like you're not hustling that along.
Who are the Panthers playing next week?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh.
So it was going to be a Prescott CMC matchup, but now it's just going to be Prescott getting all the points
I
in
think
that
the
game.
Panthers' offense looks a little sharper than the Eagles. They got more weapons at wide receiver than the Eagles have. More polished weapons, I'd say. Devonta Smith's going to be good, but he's not good yet.
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the fantasy matchup.
Yeah, and the fact that all the points in that matchup are going to be coming to his team now.
The Panthers are playing the Cowboys.
Correct.
I'm going to have Chuba Hubbard. You think he ain't going to do nothing to the boys next week?
I think he's going to do nothing to the boys next week.
Can we talk about the boys?
I don't know, dude. I think he's going to get a solid 8-10
The
points.
most defensive takeaways in the
I don't
league.
think 8 points is solid compared to what McCaffrey would have gotten.
No, of course not. But as his backup, to have a fill-in running back that's going to get me around 10 points, I'll take it.
I don't know that he's going to get you around 10 points.
I
Even
think
if
he
he
will.
did, you could find that on the waiver wire.
I think
On the waiver wire.
The waiver.
The waiver.
The waivers of waivers.
We'll see about this.
We'll
see about this boys' defense. I'm not convinced yet, although they got some players. I will say they got some impressive
They got like
players.
4 of them that can really just change the momentum of a game. 4 or 5.
It's true. They got solid linebacking core, getting Jalen Smith on the field more regularly, and that man calling plays. To be honest with you, is a much better role for him than head coach. He's great on defense.
Absolutely.
Visiblest listeners is Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator in Dallas.
Yeah, fantastic in that role.
I'm happy so far.
Yeah, probably should have won a Super Bowl. Gave one away to Tom Brady, but he'll get back there someday if he keeps calling plays like he is for the boys.
Well, I mean, he's got a ring as the defensive coordinator for Seattle.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he's the Legion of Boom composer.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's, man.
Yeah, he was the one that put all that together.
Makes you guys feel good, huh?
It does.
Let's go.
8, and you know what? Like, no, these boys are not the Legion of Boom yet. But let's be real. But they'd be flying around out there. I will say that.
I'm having Trayvon Diggs out there on the outside. He's long and strong and down to get a pass interference call on. So,
yeah. I mean, they got a young defense here, minus Tank Lawrence, that could really do something.
Yeah, we're going to see what they can do now for 2 months without him.
What? He's right there, isn't he?
No, he is not. He is out.
What number?
Out for
what numbers?
6
What number?
90.
I thought he was 94.
That's Randy Gregory.
Okay.
Another specimen.
Sure.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, that's why I thought
and
he was
now
Tank
that they're
Lawrence.
not testing for weed, like, he's going to miss way less time.
Hell yeah, dude. Though, Lale Collins, not a good look there, bribing the drug test.
You need a guy. We talked about this.
You need a guy,
You
Lale.
need a guy.
You know what's funny?
Cheating, you're not trying.
It's true. But you need a guy to bribe.
Yeah.
What are you bribing for?
You get, listen, dude.
You're the money man.
They're all on peds. How do
Everyone.
you get caught?
Yeah.
I don't understand, man.
Not being a bonehead.
Yeah.
Move.
But anyway, should we break into some of these week 3 matchups?
I think we should, and I think we should start with our undefeated podcast matchup, putting belts on the line up first.
Yeah, let's get this one over with.
Let's get this one over with.
Let's get this one out of the way. Let's get the Cody Gloat out of the way quick, folks.
Oh, man, it feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. For anyone who might not know, there is some special action going on for this week's matchup. Jake, do you want to tell our viewers about this bet that you're about to lose?
Well, I think you're already telling them, so might as well just continue.
You want me to do it? Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah.
So, I've been pretty jealous of the Pop Lock and Drop It name.
No, try again.
Pop it and stock it with Johnny Robinson's. My name isn't cool, but it has endured for years. We're rocking like year 4 or 5 of butts right now.
Yeah.
Butts and reckons, and so I said
we
should put our names on the line, and we did that. And it's not looking good for you. And for the next month, your name will be at my mercy I'm between a few things, but I'm going to wait for that reveal when you actually do it.
Whoa, Devonta.
There's a lot of weird things on this
Watkins. Play. That's got to be pass interference. The way they've been calling this year, that's DPI.
Do you feel like throwing out a couple of those possible names you're tossing around? And get some feedback from the commish?
Let's give us a little taste.
Okay, that's fair. One of the first things, cause, I really wanted to be funny because that's important to me.
Of course.
But like at the same time, maybe I just want to be like humiliating. Maybe I just want to like cut as
there can be a combination
as possible. And like on a simple scale, I could have been like Team Cody's bitch, because he would have had to look at it.
It's too on the nose, though.
It is.
We gotta go a little deeper.
It is.
It's too on the nose.
You know what else I was thinking? And this one touches a lot of hearts out there.
What we got?
Trump 24.
Ooh.
Trump 2024. Team Trump 2024.
Try not to react.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What else you got? I don't know, because you bring politics into football again. We already had a discussion.
I know, which is why you don't really want to do that.
Yeah, exactly. All right. What else you got?
If it's reactions I'm after, that's always an easy one.
That's fair. You definitely get one.
And I think the leader of the pack right now is Team Loads to the face.
We might have a order, folks.
Yeah.
Team Loads to the face. What if?
Okay.
Yeah. It's simple. It's derogatory, and.
I wonder if you can incorporate a player's name into a humiliating name for said competitor.
I am willing to take ideas.
Yes, let's brainstorm on my misery.
Let's brainstorm.
Let's go right down the list here. I mean, you bring the Chubb thing into it again, but Patrick, you got to change your name at this point.
I know. I got to change it to the fucking dumpster fire. I think that's what I'm going to name my team. The fucking Chicago dumpster fire. Shots fired, Dave.
Well, let's... the Chicago dumpster fire. Why don't we just break down this matchup as we consider these?
Yeah, let's do it. We could spend time on that later.
We can move past quarterbacks because Dak's still playing. To be determined on that one. My MVP basically was my kicker this week. That's how lackluster, almost across the board, my team was.
What happened to the Pats this week, man?
I don't know, man. Both my running backs had some tough matchups, and neither one of them performed.
James White got carted off too, man.
Did he? I missed that.
Yeah, James White carted off, ankle injury apparently. I heard that. I only get, I don't have the Sunday ticket, so I only get I watch every game I can, but there was only 4 games I could watch in the past.
Well, that's good news for
wasn't one of them.
Mr. Harris in your lineup, then.
Yeah.
They're thinking they're gonna maybe slot J.J. Taylor into that James White role, but obviously he's no James White, so we'll see what that means. But I mean, New Orleans is a great run defense. They've been a great run defense for a lot of years, so I wouldn't sweat that one too much. Although 1 point's rough. Jesus.
It is 1.1, man. It was not. He had 14 yards on the ground and -3 through the air.
Christian McCaffrey's leg literally fell off, and he gave me 4. So
yeah, you got 4 across the board from all 3 people. Like that.
Fuck's sake.
Christian McCaffrey got you the most points out of that.
Oh, we'll get to my game. All right, let's keep going here.
And Dallas got hot knife through butter on that drive. They just went 80 yards down the field.
Ertz with the touch. Well, all right.
And I mean, it ain't over.
Definitely lost this matchup, but we already knew that.
With Cooper Kupp putting up those numbers for Cody again this week, I think he locks in his wide receiver 1 status.
I mean, Jesus.
Cooper Kupp
wide receiver 1 on the year, perhaps.
Fantastic.
Yeah. And they want to get to him. They forced the ball to that man 8 times in a row, and he only caught 2 of them, and it didn't stop him from just continuing.
If we're talking about league winners, that man might be the league winner.
Well, that makes me feel a lot better about taking him before the QB
Bonanza
fire sale.
Yeah, I mean,
because that's the pick that kept me from Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
So if it keeps looking like that, I feel less bad about it.
But and Russ is such a solid quarterback too. I mean, he it's crazy the way the Hawks start off games. They start off every week like they're just going to set the world on fire. And then, in the last 2 weeks, they kind of... I don't understand how DK Metcalf didn't go for 203 touchdowns. He was annihilating. So that's a game I watched. He was making Pat Pete look like he'd never covered somebody in his life.
Pat Pete is very old. People got to remember that.
He is old, and he's playing one of the most athletic wide receivers in football, but, like...
And a monster.
DK was, like, 20 yards at will.
Yeah, I agree. I remember seeing that, and then it seemed like they just kind of quit finding him for some reason.
Why? What are we doing? And then you get Lockett wrecked, absolutely wrecked later in the game, which... I don't know if you heard anything about that injury status, but
there's been no news updates, so I don't think that
he got lit up.
It's lingering.
He's a small guy.
Yeah, my team pretty shitty across the board. Cody getting Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, a quiet day for Derrick Henry is still 16 points.
Derrick Henry was inside the 5 8 times, and they just didn't give him the ball any of those times, and he still got 17 points.
Did you see who scored the touchdowns for Tennessee this last week?
Yes.
It was like 3 no-names.
Absolutely.
It was the backup running back, McNichols.
Yep.
Who...
And then
nobody knows.
Then 2 slot guys who are not A.J. Brown or Julio Jones.
Yeah, A.J. Brown, by the way, might be out for an extended period of time. Ooh. Got injured. So,
that ain't good.
That makes Julio look nice.
That makes Derrick Henry look just fine.
Yeah, I mean, the Titans, I think, in week 2, at the end of that game, remembered why their offense goes through Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And then they won the game, and they won again this week, running their offense through Derrick Henry.
It's
so
true.
I think
really
that bodes well
for
you. Yeah.
They were throwing it to him in the flat.
They
want that man to have the ball.
It's your best player. Is your best player on offense.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even with A.J. Brown and Julio Jones on the field.
Yeah.
He's your best player.
He's huge.
So get
He's
him the
a
ball.
monster.
Couple of things I know.
He's ridiculous.
On the benches for the matchup, too. You got Marquez Callaway and A.J. Green double digits. On my end, I got Trey Sermon after Trisha dropped him, and he got the end zone this week. So.
Yeah, it really pissed me off about that, too. By the way, like the CMC timing, the CMC injury could not come at a worse time because I would have had Trey Sermon. I can't take Trey Sermon because I got to have Chuba.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it was really frustrating. I even talked about it. Me and Todd were having a little bit of back and forth on it, and like I didn't even like play my hand there just in case strategy wise. But I was really frustrated about that because I'm like, you know what? I could have Trey Sermon on my bench, and I could have CMC in my lineup, and now because of the CMC injury,
you get neither one.
I got to take Chuba. You have to.
Well, I saw Patrick, Todd, and Cody ahead of me on the waivers when I went to pick up Sermon, and I said, "There's no way I get him," but I put it in anyway, and lo and behold, everybody else had ulterior motives to avoid him, so I got lucky.
But you want to know though, as a Packers fan, obviously I watched that game from start to finish. Mm-hmm. Shanahan does not want to trust that guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He didn't want to. There's a reason why Kyle Juszczyk had the ball when the game was on the line.
That's a good point.
And he didn't look good in the first. He didn't look good the first like 20 minutes of the game. Sermon dropped a couple passes. You know, he got bailed out with that touchdown, but like you're playing the Packers' run defense. I don't know what San Francisco is doing.
That's one way to view it, which I think is accurate. But another way to view it is that it's trending up, and if it continues to gain steam, it could turn into something that is profitable.
The question, though, is, and this is speaking of my own interest, hopeful, you have Jeff Wilson coming back in week 6, probably.
Okay.
Jeff Wilson is now the only guy, when he's healthy, that other than JaMychal Hasty, that has a history of doing anything for that team, and he's done it many times. Jeff Wilson has had multiple big games for them.
I tried to get Jeff Wilson, and your sneaky ass got him at like 7:30 in the morning.
That's right.
I didn't wake up until like 9.
Hey,
snooze you lose.
We don't sleep around here.
We don't sleep.
I do.
I do, but that was on that one because if you can get the lead guy in that 49er backfield and know that Shanahan's actually going to give him the ball, obviously
they do good things with it.
It's extremely valuable.
It's true.
You know, and with my running back situation, I got to be fucking throwing darts right now. I got bailed out by Alexander Madison. My running backs were not the problem this week.
Let's just
anyway,
move on to
now, did we finish up, you guys? Do you have anything else you want to say? I just keep cutting into my misery.
That's all right. I would like to point out along that same like Trey Sermon line, because that's where it is on the screen, that I now have Mr. Henderson.
Yeah.
Now, he was a scratch this week, but he's also against Tampa. You don't want to run back against Tampa anyway.
No.
But I was able to move a flex/bitch move for Henderson, and I'm feeling really good. about the amount of points I can rely on from running backs.
I think it was a solid trade for her, though, too.
I think it worked for both.
I'm not going to lie. She asked me some questions, but then at the end of the day, I always tell her to do what she thinks.
She needed some receiver help. I needed some running back help. Both teams got better, and that's what trades are supposed to be about.
Exactly. And she has Zeke and Chris Carson are studs at the top for running back chart.
You know she sent me Zeke for Hopkins, and did my Cowboys fandom want it? I wanted it so bad, but that week after Tony Pollard looked like the better running back, I just couldn't.
I told her to try to boathouse you with Zeke.
Oh, man. And she almost got it. She got it because it was early in the morning. I had just woken up. I didn't have my nutrients in me, and I was like, Derrick Henry and Ezekiel Elliott in the same lineup? What?
Bailey, pay attention. Yes.
Yeah, we can move on. Jake sucked my dick.
Oh, all right.
It only took Cody approximately 6.5 days into our matchup to finally start talking shit. So I'm glad that he got there.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad that
he's a confident shit talker when he's got it locked up, folks. Let that be noted.
Let it be noted.
I'm the Allen of shit talk.
He didn't talk a lot of shit in our matchup until Derrick Henry was screaming down the field for multiple 60-yard touchdowns.
He's a little guy. He's nervous, okay?
Yeah.
He wants to make sure that he's got the high ground.
Absolutely. I'm aware of my surroundings.
He fights winning battles.
And I am
He's the Sun Tzu of fantasy football, folks.
Great strategist.
Yeah. It's an Art of War reference. Anyway.
That's the highest brow reference you're going to get.
Hell, historian here, folks.
Yeah.
Got a history degree. Anyway, moving on here.
What do you want to say for yourself?
Jesus, man.
Man.
Does he have a questionable tag by him, too? For God's sakes. What the fuck could get worse for me? You know? Like, Trey Lance is not going to sniff the field because Shanahan's a smart coach and his team functions well with Jimmy G on the field, for God's sakes, and they would be way more dysfunctional with Trey Lance. I'll say it even though I don't want it to be true. It is true. Justin Fields, I mean, can we get the man a different team? Can we get the man a different coach?
At least a different coach.
Like, for God's sakes.
A coach that believes in him.
They're right. Yeah, you won't name a starting quarterback. Why did we draft him in the first round then?
Makes me think that Matt Nagy wasn't much involved with the selection process. And that is not a good sign.
He was terrible with Trubisky too.
He wasn't good.
Trubisky would have some momentum, and then you know what I mean. He was never able to carry that forward.
It's almost like he's got this fucking complex of these quarterbacks aren't good enough for his system.
Yeah.
I think Matt Nagy thinks he's like Sean McVay, and he's like this creative dude, and he's just not. Yeah. And what he needs to do is he needs to run a solid fundamental plan for a talented quarterback, and he needs to build the confidence in this kid, and he needs to instill in him like, hey man, we're gonna draw up schemes for you that are not gonna put you under heavy pressure unless literally we're in a 3rd and long and you got to get out there and make a play, and we got to put 5 out there running routes.
Yeah, when things fall apart, you can always improvise, but you got to have a steady.
There was I watched that entire game as well, and Dave, I bet you did too, and me and Dave have been going back and forth about this. Where are the double tight end packages? Where are 7 guys on pass pro and a running back in the flat? 2 guys going deep and a drag route across the middle. Yeah. What are we doing? Where's the uber targeting of Allen Robinson? He's the big dog.
Right.
Caught 2 passes.
Get him out of the pocket too. Get him moving.
Play action. You have David Montgomery in the start of the game is gashing. Yeah. He had 3-4 good runs. Mm-hmm. Disappeared.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Browns were putting up crazy points. The game, I believe, was 6-3 deep into the second quarter.
Yeah, and then eventually
it was a nightmare.
Myles Garrett was just on the quarterback the entire time because they didn't ever move him off the spot. He's got all the athleticism, and they just kept 5-step drop and sit, 5-step drop and sit. And he doesn't read things fast enough right now to not have Myles Garrett eat his lunch.
Never had any rhythm.
He
and
needs
they had a guy
2 reads.
setting a franchise record in sacks against him.
Yeah.
You can't expect him to be composed under that.
Against a defense that is sure they have talent, but the Browns have been exposed many times over the past few years, on defense. They're not a top to bottom.
They do have a good front four.
Of course they do.
But that's their strength.
But that can be game planned against.
It's true.
You can run draws. You can run screens. You have Darnell Mooney. Run these screens. Run get him bringing 8 guys up in the box. Hit him deep with Darnell Mooney on a post. I could have called better plays.
There is quite a bit of opinion on that very first player on your roster.
It's very upsetting because he should be way better. He should be like a Jalen Hurts.
They do move
that can throw the ball better.
Yeah, because Jalen Hurts can't.
No, he can't.
No,
he's not a great. Jalen Hurts is not a great passer, but they let Jalen and that he's been let down by his wide receivers.
Trayvon
I gotta say,
is taking his former college teammate out of this game.
Were they both Alabama boys?
Yep.
Interesting.
They got him right on him, and it's not looking good for that.
This was a drop, though. That was a drop.
Looks like his hands were in there.
Yeah, that was defense. That was defended.
Are you sure?
Oh yeah, look at this.
No, he caught his hand. He caught his hand. Fair enough.
He just ripped it right out.
Well, the one good thing, I'm gonna zoom through the rest of my shit. Obviously, we've already covered CMC. He's hurt. He's out probably 2 weeks. He's not coming back next week. He might come back the week after that, I think. I'm gonna pick up Chuba, so don't even try, folks.
I think you're probably into the space where you're not benching Jamar Chase a whole lot many more times.
No, God, that hurt so bad. How good is he, by the way?
He's really fucking
How good is he, man? Him and Joe Burrow
That's
got
next level
something.
talent.
Yeah, they
and
got
the
something
connection
out there.
on top of it. Inklings of like the Gronkowski, Tom Brady kind of just it's not on that level, but just the comfort levels there.
I would say he's like a budding Justin Jefferson level of talent.
Justin Jefferson.
He's not as good of a route runner
as
Justin Jefferson, but he's a better deep threat.
Okay.
That's what I would say about Jamar Chase right now.
Well, I mean, that could look good for you moving forward.
That's my honest assessment of him.
It's hard for me to get behind anything in Cincinnati.
They're 2-1.
It's habit. It's like Detroit or Jacksonville. You know, it's just you have an air about it.
Zach Taylor, I think, is a good offensive coach, though.
Well, we'll see.
They put up points every week so far against not bad defenses either.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh without T.J. Watt and with a terrible Big Ben handing the ball back every fucking second. Like, yeah, that's gonna hurt the defense of any team. But like, you know, he's put up points on 2 solid defenses in a row. Obviously, they lost the game to the Bears, but they put up 17. You know, so.
Well, on the Trish side, because my instinct was to say that you lost this game more than Trish won it, but I mean she's projected at 93.
Big day from Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt and Donkey Kong Metcalf.
Yeah, still in the show in their respective matchups.
DJ Moore opened up
solid the first 2 weeks.
It's true, and so that really carried the day for her. So she put up a good show, and CMC just kept you from competing.
I think the trade that she made with Dalvin Cook, the asset she was able to acquire by moving that man, definitely improved her team.
I think Trish has a much better team now, and I'm glad that she was rewarded with a win from those movements.
I think that she may have a better team, but I think Trish is going to find that there's going to be weeks where she gets almost nothing from her running backs. I don't know how you sit down Kareem Hunt after a week like this, but Nick Chubb is still the 1A there. He still is. He got the most carries.
It was a matchup base, and you saw Kareem Hunt just kind of had a bunch of yards after the carry.
He had fresher legs. Fresher legs.
Is Kareem Hunt closer to Nick Chubb than Tony Pollard is to Zeke Elliott?
Yes.
Of course. Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
then. 100%. I mean, they're the same archetype, and they like throwing Kareem Hunt the ball more.
They do.
They're big, bully, stocky running back. I mean, Chubb's probably a little bigger weight-wise, and he's more of a pure bruiser back. Kareem Hunt's got a little bit more speed, but he can run the same way. I mean, he's
got a lot of Punisher in him.
If you watch that touchdown run he had, he broke about 3-4 tackles.
He did.
And then outran everybody.
Some large men that
low center of gravity, got quickness and power to him.
Yeah, I think he broke a tackle from Roquan Smith, who's a great tackler.
Yeah.
You know, that's saying something.
Yeah, it was a good play. It was definitely a top 10 play of the week, I think.
Good on Trish for her moves.
Yeah, that's
so
sad.
I think things are going well there.
Also, kind of looks like
maybe put Justin Herbert in because I think that's just a better call.
I don't know why we're playing Jalen Hurts over and then why are people afraid of the Chiefs defense right now?
Because they come on good late and they were good late. And it's early now. They're giving up a lot of points.
They're not good right now.
They're not good right now. And the Chiefs are 1-2 in the bottom of their division.
I know. Last place. How crazy is that? And are the Raiders in first?
Yeah.
What is 2021?
I don't know.
What is the world?
I don't know. That's strange. But yeah, good on
insane.
Trish getting a win here. Is this her first win?
Yeah, I think so.
So she's gonna be 1-2.
Same record as Patrick. No?
Same record as the commissioner of the swamp himself.
It's a long season, folks. It's a long season.
It's getting muddy though, isn't it?
It's getting a little muddy.
It's getting muddy for you.
Shorts are getting muddy. There's a lot of quarterback injuries that are holding back some of my quality wide receivers down there on the bench too. I gotta say.
Oh man.
Sounds like an awful lot of excuses.
Mr. Brisket down there is not getting the ball to Jalen Waddle like he should. They targeted the shit out of him, but he got 6 points.
Yeah, Brissett's not a good quarterback.
No, he's not.
No.
Not even close.
And Ronald Jones is hot garbage. It's Leonard Fournette in Tampa Bay, folks.
And even then,
you don't want a running back.
You don't want a running back in Tampa.
No, it's the Tom Brady show.
It's a possible flex play at best.
Although I will say, Gio Bernard got hurt. There's going to be a couple more touches to go around.
Did he get hurt?
He did. He got hurt on the last play of the game.
Damn. That's
for no reason.
Something you want to see.
No. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Ooh, this one looking close to over between the win for Dobbins,
where are we at here?
And the go home Bears. She's got the two number one, number two receivers.
But it is running game territory right now for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
So it's looking like Dave's gonna pull this one off.
Dave's gonna get a win.
Dave had a great. I was watching.
Dave is in the triple digits again, gang.
I know.
Dave is looking like a respectable fantasy football.
Dave got 20 points from his defense and 14 from his kicker. So let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah, 33 points combined there. Let's be real here.
That's fair.
Without a couple touches by the Saints. Did they get 2?
I'm trying to be on Team Dave.
Touchdown, but 3 interceptions and a blocked kick.
Yeah. I'm trying to be on Team Dave here, but you're right.
It's
kicker
good.
Kicker
it's
and
good,
defense
but let's not get carried away.
Oh.
With 33 points.
You know, though,
he also got a touchdown from his tight end, so it does seem to be maybe not doable. But I mean, Tyreek Hill only getting 4.7. Yeah.
But
Heineke is not a bad quarterback, by the way.
Chase Claypool, who Dave's been talking about needing some production from him for 3 weeks now. He finally got some. Just shy of 100 yards. That's a good sign.
Something I heard today that I was like, oh, that's a really good analogy is that Chase Claypool is the new Mike Williams.
And Mike Williams is a really good receiver.
And Mike Williams became finally what we all thought he could be.
Mike Williams has been just as good as Cooper Kupp so far.
Mike Williams might be like it's 1A, 1B there with Keenan Allen now.
Yeah.
He's that good. And he was drafted as if he was a first-round draft pick.
And they are wanting to throw the ball in LA.
Especially when we get down to the red zone. It's Mike Williams. They're not even looking at Keenan Allen half the time.
And they could put the game away with like a quarterback sneak, and they decided to throw a fade to Mike Williams anyway.
Mm-hmm.
If I had a guy like Mike Williams on the field, I'd be throwing fades left and right too.
That
guy's a monster.
Yep.
And what's interesting though is like something there, and I mean, knock on wood there, because it's nice to see Mike Williams not getting injured, because he's constantly derailed by injury. It's nice to see the guy actually putting up numbers and like living up to his potential. But like, if you watch the routes he's running and like the way he's like positioning his body and stuff now, he's not like. He used to always do this thing where Phillip Rivers would be chucking the ball up in the air down the sideline, and he'd have to jump 10 feet in the air, and he'd land on his head, and then he'd be out for the next 3 weeks.
He was a very violent receiver.
Yeah.
To his own self.
Yeah, and he kind of, Deebo Samuel was kind of catching balls like that last night. Did you see some of those? He caught the ball like a freaking man, but, man, those are injury risk, high injury risk plays.
Mike Williams, the wide receiver 2 through 3 weeks.
Not surprising.
Fucking nasty.
Beast. He kind of lit the Cowboys up too, did he not?
Oh, he absolutely did.
Yeah. Keenan Allen played well though too. Not to take anything away from him. Like he caught some nice, there was a couple passes in that game. They were like 5-yard out routes that like Herbert really did not do Allen any favors. And, like, defenders all over him, and Allen would come down with the ball anyway. I was like, wow, man. That's why you're, like, a fucking top 12 wide receiver. You know what I mean? Like, the hand strength.
I think having skill players on the Chargers roster right now is a good thing, and that worked out well for Bailey this week. But it's about the only thing that worked out well for Bailey besides Matt Stafford.
That's true.
And she goes down to the formerly winless for Dobbins Pavlik.
Her running backs did well. Her quarterback did pretty well. The rest of her starting roster was shambles, but she put up some numbers on her bench, so it's not completely dismal.
She's got a good team. She's got to move on from Mark Ingram, though, if I'm being honest here. I don't know why we're playing him in the flex, but anyway.
But, I mean, who does she move on to? James Conner? He got 2 rushing touchdowns this week, so, like, it looks good on paper, but...
It's Brandon Ayuk. They're getting Brandon Ayuk more involved.
Well, Brandon Ayuk only had 4 receptions.
Yeah, but
he put up 28, and he only had 4 receptions.
The reason Brandon Ayuk was not involved in the first, and I don't like giving advice to competitors, but anyway, I already played her in a beater, so it doesn't matter.
That's fair.
Brandon Ayuk was not involved in the first 2 weeks because he was injured in training camp, and he was getting up to speed. Mm-hmm. He was way more involved last night.
You see better things coming from Brandon Ayuk?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we'll see. I mean, Packers secondary outside of... Let's talk about the Packers secondary for a second. I sent a few texts to you guys last night. Packers secondary look like world beaters compared to the way they look when Kevin King's on the field, folks. Can we get Kevin King sent off in a trade? Let's get a 3rd-round draft pick. Let's get rid of this guy. He's garbage.
You get a 3rd-round pick for that guy?
I don't. Whatever we can get. Who cares? Give me a fucking.
I'm trying to trade his Kansas City Chiefs running back.
Yeah.
It's like, we know you're not high on him. Why are you putting that kind of value on him?
Yeah, let's give me a sausage McMuffin for fucking Kevin King. We don't need the guy.
I'll offer you
that rookie played way better, by the way.
Individual-sized bag of Lay's.
I'll give you him and a 3rd-round pick just to take him off our roster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Just take his contract. That's all we need from you. All right. Anyway.
What are the notes on this matchup?
Melvin Gordon is not losing that role anytime soon, folks. Sorry to say to the average Jakes. I think it's going to be an even split there, barring injury for most of the year.
Okay. All right.
He's running well.
And
they're winning games.
Yeah.
And he's on a contract year.
Probably can use up those legs.
That was my analysis at the beginning of the year, and I have not changed. And he hasn't shown any signs of slowing down.
All right, then. That'll wrap it for that. Hey, good win, Dave. You're on the board, man. You're in the swamp with the rest of them.
Next one up is the closest one of the week.
Fucking
also the 2 top scorers of the week.
Brant, I've been here before, man, and it's brutal.
Where's Brant?
Brant is on a 4-yard loss.
A 4-yard loss
on the last play.
Brant to 0-3.
0-3.
0-3 because of 4 yards.
On the last play of the game, when everybody knew it was going to Devontae.
Yeah.
Who else are you throwing the ball to? Who are you throwing the ball to? And also, can I say probably like the quickest concussion protocol that we've ever seen, by the way, after Devontae Adams got blasted.
Yeah.
He was out 2 plays.
Yeah.
Not sure that was exactly up to snuff, but hey, we won the game, so we'll take it. Hopefully his brain's okay. I mean, it's not my call, but like that, I don't know if that one was quite up to par there. The NFL is covering his tracks saying that the protocol is followed.
Chucking darts.
Who caught that?
Cedric Wilson.
Ah, Bailey. Bailey. It hurts. They're still throwing touchdowns, and it ain't to the 2 studs.
No, it ain't. Can we talk about how...
I want to talk about Brant's team a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. Or what do you want to say?
No, you go for it, man. Look at James Robinson in that flex spot, just killing it this week.
They
trying to figure out that the quarterback's not the answer there.
Urban Meyer finally realized that Carlos Hyde is trash, even though he coached him in college, and he's giving the ball to the better running back, and he's trying to save his job. So good job, Urban Meyer.
All right.
Like, because it should have been James Robinson from week 1.
Yeah.
So I mean that bodes well for Brant. Obviously, who is Jacksonville playing? They weren't playing anybody.
Jacksonville.
They're playing Arizona.
Oh, they were. Yeah. Okay. Arizona's defense is not as good as we thought, folks.
No.
They have a great pass rush. They have a decent safety, and that's it.
Yeah, and they just happen to get out real hot against
a
garbage Tennessee team that wasn't ready because Tennessee ain't garbage. They're 2-1 now.
They did not game plan correctly for week 1. I think they had too many options in week 1, and Arizona came out ready to play, put them on the back foot, and that was the end of the game.
Yeah. Instead of getting the ball to Derrick Henry a bunch, they said, "Oh, look at all these new weapons we have."
Yeah.
Yeah, And 22 is the answer.
Yeah,
And did you see the one
that
play?
opens up the other weapons.
Did you see the not top 10 they were showing before the Cowboys-Eagles game tonight? The one play that went huge in the Jaguars' favor was the Cardinals' return man.
Yeah.
The referee threw the flag on the field, and it hit the ball, threw it off its trajectory just slightly, enough for him to drop the ball and the Jaguars to get that turnover in like the red zone.
Yeah.
But they let the call stand. So I think there was
A
a lot of things
referee
that played
threw
that
a
made,
yellow flag in the air as the punt was coming down, and they collided.
and it threw it off just enough right before he would have caught the ball. Fair caught it.
See, I thought you were gonna say the 109 record tying missed field goal
Nope, not that
return.
one.
So
I didn't
also
even
that
see
happened.
this other one. Yeah.
So that also happened.
There
Yeah,
was
it's
a
the same game.
handful of breaks that made that game look a lot closer.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Arizona should have
handily
Yes.
won that
Okay.
game.
I mean, they still won by 12.
Yeah.
Well,
But-
Jacksonville had, I think, a defensive touchdown too. Like,
So the offense
It was-
scored 2 field goals.
Oh, man.
yeah, it wasn't
Yeah.
much.
Trevor Lawrence not looking like the
But
answer.
James Robinson had how many points? 19. Oh no, they did. They scored 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
They-
to
yeah,
him.
because he had 1. Okay. I mean, they should be giving him the ball.
And 46 receiving yards too.
Yeah.
So they wanted to get it to him.
And then Saquon had himself a week this week too. It was nice to see Saquon looking more involved and healthy. I mean, granted they're playing Atlanta, but you know that's what you want to see. I don't know what KJ Osborne was doing in the starting lineup there, but maybe he didn't have better
I think
options.
that was just a homer pick. He's a Vikings fan, right? I think
Yeah.
that's what that was.
Yeah,
Well, that
It's-
homer pick cost him his first win, and he's now 0-3.
yeah. I
You
mean,
say that though, he had. I guess he could have put in Tim Patrick. Would have been his only saving grace there.
Tim Patrick's a better player there, I think, Brent. I mean, do what you want, man. You're a wise football, fantasy football player, but
Is he?
I think
He's
he is. I think
with a
Brent.
championship.
I think Brent is a shrewd fantasy football player that has had some bad injuries on some quality draft picks. And
So am I
he's
the
got
only one
Jerry Jeudy and T.
believing
Higgins injured here.
in his rookie beginner luck status? Am I alone in that?
I think Brent is
Too early
gonna.
to tell. Too early to tell, I think.
I think Brent's team's gonna look a lot better as the year goes on, and some of these guys get healthy. By the way, he's got, and look at who he's got injured. He has Jerry Jeudy injured, Antonio Brown injured, T. Higgins injured. Those are 3 top 30 wide receivers.
And he still got,
That's
and
why
he's
he's
All I'm
playing
also-
KJ
saying is
Osborne.
Brant can't even be 500 until week 6.
That's fine. You can get in the playoffs at 500.
I
And
was
you
in
know how
the
fantasy football works. Make it to the playoffs and then hope your team's hot.
Yeah.
yeah. I was in the playoffs 6-6 last year, and I didn't lose to Brent by that much.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, looking at the standings, I mean, what do we have for the Ophers coming down? It's
Erica,
and Brant.
Brent,
And that's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. So
It's
And
an
Look it up.
uphill battle.
Look it
but
up.
it's doable.
looking
Yeah.
upward.
Allen's team.
Team Allen and Dalvin may have the best team in the league.
He might.
It's top 3, I think. Just with that Mike Williams pickup after my bonehead drafting, and getting Dalvin Cook from Trish, he's got a good team.
Sterling Shepard got hurt though. That's gonna be.
We'll talk about
And
people-
also Dalvin Cook. People think he was only gonna be out a week. The reports that I've heard is that he was not close to playing.
Really?
Interesting.
So we'll see if he's ready to go this next week. I mean, I'm hoping not because I got Alexander Madison and he looked like a beast.
What's the Josh Jacobs injury? What's that looking like?
Jacobs,
He's got him on the bench too.
I haven't.
So I
didn't hear much about Jacobs. I was paying more attention to Cook, obviously, because I got Madison. But
I put Kenyon Drake in my lineup just one because I don't have many options, and 2 thinking with Jacobs out he'll be the guy, and then Peyton Barber comes in.
they don't
puts him on
want Drake
111.
to be the bruiser.
Drake just looks bad. They put him on. They go through the same gap as Peyton Barber, and Peyton Barber's getting 7 yards, whereas Kenyon Drake's getting 2.5, and
That's
then
true.
stonewalled.
It does seem
The man could not break through a tackle.
Mhm.
He looked bad.
They didn't use him in any different setting either. Like
No.
it wasn't like, all right, here are our Drake plays, here are our Peyton plays. It was just here's the gap, who's doing better, and it wasn't.
By halfway through the third quarter, it was obvious by touches and how many times they were on the field versus the other running back. The entire team had made that acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Peyton Barber's a little better.
Drake is not a power running back. He doesn't do well on trap plays. He doesn't do well on between the tackle runs. Drake is like an outside zone runner. He's a shotgun. He runs against 6 guys in the box. He gets out to the flat, catches the ball, and uses his speed to get to the edge.
I think he's lost his step.
Yeah, he did not look very sharp. And
that's 2 weeks in a row that I paid close attention to him just because he's on my roster, and 2 weeks where he has limped to about 4.5 to 5.5 points.
That sucks because he had a lot of promise earlier in his career.
It's looking as if Josh Jacobs is hopeful to be practicing this week. That's if he makes a practice appearance, I think at all, they're probably going to put him in.
If you listen to Matthew Berry talk about Kenyon Drake this week, Matthew Berry shares a lot of the same insights I do. He does not like that man. He's like, that man was good there was like a 7-game stretch where he was good for 4 of the games at the end of one season, and then everybody just jumped on top.
He was a monster. Remember what he did for Arizona for a few games there? He won leagues.
But it was good, and that's why people have held on to him, myself included.
Yeah. A lot of
that's why I drafted him the next year.
A lot of leftover flavor for that.
Oh, I know all about Kenyon Drake. He fucking submarined my team all last year. I think I traded for him from you.
Oh, jeez.
Traded you Connor for Kenyon Drake last year.
I believe you did.
Yeah. It's not a good trade either way.
Well,
Justin, can we talk about Justin Tucker and the kick?
We should.
For God's sakes. That man,
66 yards?
66. Off the field goal post.
There was 4, I think, kickers at this point who had all shared the record of 63 yards.
Janikowski had to be one of them, right?
I don't know if he ever got the opportunity. I know he hit a 62-yard, but I don't know if they ever lined him up for 63.
They should have. That man was a beast.
Wasn't it? I think it was Jason Elam who had the first one. Okay. And he was in Denver, so high altitude.
Because I was an asterisk.
Yeah, there is. But there was 4 of them that did it, and everything else just seemed, like no one was going to take that chance. But with a game on the line, and not a tied game, we might be going to overtime. No, game on the line, losing score. They put Justin Tucker out for 66 in Detroit.
That tells you the confidence.
And he kisses the crossbar and gets a win. That's what records are supposed to look like. Yes. It shouldn't be a kick before the half. Nope. It shouldn't be somewhere in the first quarter. Game winner, everything on the line. 3 yards deeper than any kick ever made in NFL history. Are you kidding me, Justin Tucker?
And a potential loss to one of the worst teams in the league.
Oh, absolutely.
Who are playing everybody tough, but they are one of the worst teams in the league.
And you're coming off an upset of the Kansas City Chiefs?
You say lineup for a 66-yarder is confidence. I think there's a little bit of that panic in there, too. A little bit of desperation forces you to try the longest kick that's ever been.
They had no time. And, if you watched any of the plays from that game, unfortunately for Erica, and this is looking up for Erica, but unfortunately for Erica, Marquise Brown dropped 2 touchdowns.
Game. They're still targeting him quite a bit.
Yeah, so he's going to be good, but he should have had a huge week.
Yeah.
The Lions have no cornerbacks. They're all injured.
Yeah.
But, did you guys see the debate after that game that the kick should have never even happened? Because there was this huge debate right after that game they were talking about on CBS, and it was, Boomer Esiason, right? And then that Clark guy, he's another guy that's on there, and then Pittsburgh's old coach.
What, Ryan Clark?
Pittsburgh's old coach with the chin,
Cowher.
They're all on there debating this. They rewound it about 5-6 times and watched the play clock count down. Should have been a delay game.
Really?
Oh, we're all very happy it wasn't.
No, of course.
Yeah.
It's great, but the Lions should have won that game. Because so basically what happened was they hit 0, 2-3 seconds go by, and they snapped the ball, and there was no penalty called.
I don't know, man. I think Justin Tucker makes a 71-yarder.
He might. We might be talking about that instead, but it's just they shouldn't have had the opportunity to even kick that at that distance because it should have been a delay game.
Well, I'm glad that got lost to the history because the way that shook out is the way that I want to remember it.
Yeah, me too. And also, he got a limited card in Madden, so I'm gonna go pick that up. Anyway,
any other notes on this matchup other than another defense putting up 17 points? Defenses and kickers scoring a lot of points the first few weeks.
I had the Broncos in a lot of DFS lineups, and play your if you got a good defense, solid unit, play them against the Jets because they look bad.
The Jets are bad.
And that makes me feel bad for Zach Wilson because I actually think that Zach Wilson has the raw ability to be a good quarterback. But it's one of these situations where, like, you put a young guy in a bad situation and you can destroy him.
Yeah, and I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
I think it's already happening. Yeah. I think Bill Belichick imploded that kid's mind.
Well, I mean, one thing that we need to consider is that every time that Adam Gase leaves a situation, they have success. So they do have that going for them.
Yeah, and I think I think Salah's a good coach. I think he is.
Michael Parsons getting held because they have to. Just saying.
Any other notes
Mike
on
Parsons
this one
about to be the best edge
on?
rusher in the league. So.
We've got 2 more to touch on.
Yeah, let's go on to what else we got here? Anything else?
Not really. You touched on the injuries down here. Injuries down
DeAndre Swift is the guy in Detroit. Jamal Williams is fine, but it's DeAndre Swift.
Mm-hmm.
David Montgomery for Allen. It's like Allen should have probably won this more handily because David Montgomery should have had probably about 10 more points.
But you can do shoulda, woulda, coulda all day.
Yeah, it's true.
Happened the way he still got the dub, but and he still got the highest score of the week. So
loses Sterling Shepard though, and he was a solid contributor. Sterling Shepard's gonna be out for a bit.
You think so?
Yeah, he got hurt. So here's the interesting bit of new development in New York for Brent. The silver lining for Brent. Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton got hurt in that game. So now it's Kenny G, Evan Ingram, and Saquon. That's going to mean a few more targets for Saquon probably. But anyway, we move on.
Oh, the roommate battle this week. You got Mr. Strozzi against Mr. Taylor.
Mr. Taylor, not to be denied, doesn't get 100 points, still gets a win. That's one of those front runners that if you don't get them when they're down,
it's going to be tough.
It's going to be tough. And
he's got a good team.
And swamp-ass Jake
needs a win next week just to get back to average.
Yeah.
Swampy.
It's not. I don't like his roster.
It's looking murky.
It's looking quite murky.
I'm trying to make some trades with this individual and have not been able to make anything happen.
He is a tough son of a bitch to trade with, I'll tell you that. I offered several ones too, and he was not interested.
Jake, I'm just saying, you go to 1-4 or 1-3, and you better start making some moves. I know you're listening.
This Cowboys defense is looking dirty.
One thing there, though, is Manny Sanders. If Josh Allen's going to keep playing like that, I think Manny Sanders is going to be a solid wide receiver, too, out there in Buffalo.
Josh Allen puts up 5 touchdowns a week. That was absurd.
Done it 2 weeks in a row, though. I mean, Josh Allen, I think, was embarrassed in week 1, and he's out here to set the world on fire and remind everybody why he was almost the MVP last year.
Oh, he was so good last year. If he gets hot, I think Todd's last.
If we're playing by NBA Jam rules, that man's heating up.
2 weeks in a row, Josh Allen only had 2 touchdowns.
No, last week he lit it up against Miami.
He definitely did not. 179 yards, 2 touchdowns, 35 on the ground. He was very pedestrian the first 2 weeks.
Last week they ran the ball. That's what happened. Zach Moss had 2 touchdowns last week.
He was busted 2 of his 3 weeks.
Yeah,
slaughtered it this week. So.
Bust is a strong word for the Miami game.
When you're going off the trends provided by the app that we use, he has busted 2 of the 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, fuck. Only I'm right. No.
Well,
I mean, is a strong term.
Where's the hole right now in?
Bus is what Justin Fields did.
Only because of how high his expectations were.
What'd you say?
Where's the hole in King Taylor's lineup? Because
he's got a strong team. He really does. Terry McScoren, Joe Mixon is a workhorse back. He's just pure volume.
The hole in Allen's lineup is when he benches Scary Terry again. But other than that, outside of user error, I think he's going to be cruising to the playoffs.
He didn't have a strong... Washington looked rough this week, and he still got you 6 points. And Heineke's a solid quarterback, and he targets that man like nobody's business.
With Kyler Murray not even hitting 20 points, he's still putting up almost 100. I don't see Allen ever scoring less than 90 in a week. If you're going to beat Allen, you better put up triple digits.
And you better hope it's Kyler Murray's bye week.
I don't understand, he got Devontae Smith on his bench, too. Jamal Williams,
He's got
Marvin
Todd
Jones.
Gurley on his bench.
Yeah, I don't know why. Why do we have Todd Gurley, Allen? Keep him if you want. He's eating up a bench spot for you. I'll take one of the guys.
He doesn't need him in the starting roster at 3-0, so you can kind of be a little patient with him.
He's not. Nobody's picking up.
The Dallas Cowboys are in a different class than the Philadelphia Eagles.
Dalton Schultz is that man tonight, by the way.
There is a 40 burger going on in Arlington.
I'm excited. I may be losing this week, but I'm getting some Dak loving tonight.
I think that team is, yeah, and you know what?
Patrick, would you like to give me $30 now, or would you like to do this later?
I'll give it to you later because I don't have it right now.
Understood. Okay.
But it was a solid bet.
The score would indicate that it was not.
Well, hey, how about you give me a homer bet against the Packers one of these weeks, too, when you like to match it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds
I'd
good.
like to hop in on some Bears-Packers action this week with the people we got in the league, so I'll do $30.
It's Pittsburgh and Green Bay next week.
Ooh, is TJ Watt playing?
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Let's see. Let's keep moving. Well, what else we got for Allen? I mean, Gronk got hit hard in the ribs. He might not be available next week. We'll see.
Gronk's a resilient son of a bitch.
He is, but he's had a lot of injuries in his career.
And he's older now than he's ever been.
Yeah. Javonte, like I said, is basically the 1B, but a solid 1B because that run offense looks good out there in Denver. Cardinals defense is not a bad defense to have. A lot of sacks.
Not a bad defense to have.
Yeah.
They got 2 interceptions, 2 fumble recoveries, and a touchdown this week.
Yeah.
So.
On a flea flicker, they got a pick 6. Jacksonville looking rough.
Yeah.
Which isn't news. Like, that's not new things to say. But, like, Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, like, I just feel like you should be excited at some point to be a Jaguars fan, and they're letting the whole team down again.
You remember how many, think about how many fantastic pieces on that defense they had that are all gone.
Yeah.
They used to have Miles Jack, Calais Campbell, Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye.
Yep. Had them all.
And Miles Jack's the only one there now.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's how badly they drafted that they had a world-beating defense, and they still couldn't win games.
That year they were in the AFC Championship, man.
Yeah, they were nasty. Their defense was... I remember.
It was literally a 1-year rise because they faded into oblivion the following year.
Well, and then all the star players were like...
This I'm out of here.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a failing franchise. I can't associate my career and legacy.
Just like J.J. Watt did.
And J.J. Watt took too fucking long to do that.
Well, J.J. Watt's a good guy, and he wanted to help build that franchise, and it didn't work out. But
how'd that work for Andre Johnson?
Yeah. How did it work for what's-his-face beast running back down there?
Oh, you've already forgot his name, Arian Foster?
Yes, Arian Foster.
Exactly. It's ruining careers. Get out of Houston.
One of the best running backs of all time, Arian Foster.
Yeah.
That man's a vegan?
Deshaun Watson
That man's a vegan in the prime of his career. How do you get that kind of protein in your body on a vegan diet? That's wild.
You eat a lot of chickpeas.
He must eat so many chickpeas.
Chickpeas and soybeans.
Remember when Matt Schaub was going to take them to the promised land?
I don't ever believe that Matt Schaub was
Remember when the other car was going to drive them to the Super Bowl?
Yes.
The car that shall not be named.
Oh my
Just
god.
named him.
David.
David Carr.
David Carr.
David Carr.
The Spanish twin.
The Spanish of the eyeliner princess of Vegas.
One person of note on Mr. Strozzi's team, Mr. Thielen.
Putting up numbers
Consistent
every week.
red zone target. That man gets a touchdown every week.
Every week.
That man, the separation that man gets in one-on-one coverage.
He's got like a running back reliability number. Like I don't see him like ever getting 30, but I'm like always between like 11 and 20. Like that's just
him and Kirk in the red zone are about as sure as thing as you can possibly get.
Wide receiver 5 on the year.
Killing it.
Definitely outdoing Justin Jefferson through 3 weeks.
And they also everybody was saying that Thielen was
live,
washed.
It doesn't feel like that. When you watch those games live, it just feels like it's just Jefferson.
See, I've gotten completely different vibes from that.
Interesting.
Jefferson had a good game
I
this
see
week.
Jefferson between the 20s, and I see Thielen and Pedro.
Yeah.
Jefferson scored a touchdown this week, didn't he?
He did.
But last
But
few
it was
weeks
his
he
first
hasn't.
one.
Yeah.
Well, Thielen's got 4 on the year.
Yeah. The touchdowns matter.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I want to touch on was Washington. Throw the fucking ball to Antonio Gibson. What are you doing? They throw him the ball one time. Want to know what he does with it?
31-yard touchdown.
No, 75-yard touchdown.
Was it?
Yes.
Holy smokes.
Throw the man the ball. Okay,
JD
J.D. McKissick is a good change of pace guy. Throw Antonio Gibson the ball. He was a wide receiver in college. Throw him the ball.
Well, I think an offense led by Taylor Heineke is probably going to be more of that than it was otherwise. But like it's hard.
We've seen 2 weeks of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Just throw him the fucking ball, man. I don't understand sometimes. You know?
Yeah, it's Washington though.
Yeah. But Ron Rivera had Christian McCaffrey. He knows about throwing the ball to running backs. Like, what are we doing? You know, like Antonio Gibson is a. I love Antonio Gibson.
I mean,
is Rivera more offensive or defensive mind though?
Maybe a high bar to set for a team that can't even decide on a name. That's
fair enough. A lot of indecision out there.
A lot of politics going to that decision though. Whole lot more than just football.
Yep. All right. Last matchup.
Last matchup.
Erica, wow, closed the gap pretty hefty here with the 23 points out of Zeke.
Still a large gap though.
Yeah,
it is. She got really hurt by that defense. Really hurt there. That's a 10-point swing. This matchup's a little closer without that.
I mean, not a sack, not an interception, not a block.
What the hell's going on with Washington's defense?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, let's talk about starting Washington's defense against Buffalo. I know that Pittsburgh made Josh Allen not look good, but the Buffalo Bills are one of the premier offenses in the league, and you just don't have a business.
Well, and again,
having a defense starting
again though, the first 2 weeks they weren't. So I can see why coming into week 3 you could make an argument for Washington. Yeah. But on the flip side, Washington made Daniel Jones look really good last week.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna say this on the record. It's time to believe that Washington's not a good defense anymore.
I think you have to consider there's another hold.
I'm comfortable with making that statement.
I mean, it's 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
They're second. I mean, it's just crazy to me. They have so much talent on that defense.
Yeah, on the front.
They have Kendall Fuller and Landon Collins are not bad pieces in the secondary. They're not.
They're not looking good.
No, they're not.
They're not looking good.
I don't know if it's a scheme thing or if it's a player thing.
Something's not working now.
Something's not adding up.
Marquise Brown, like I said, should have had another Marquise Brown should probably scored 25 points this week. And I know it's woulda, coulda, shoulda, but that man dropped 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns puts Erica quite a bit more into this game.
That's what I'm saying.
Possibly 3 drop touchdowns.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite a bit.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah.
In fantasy football, that is literally game changing.
That's what I'm saying. So she's been panicking, and I know she'll listen to this. Like, I want to say to her on air here, like, she's got a better team than she thinks. She's got solid depth at running back.
I don't think she has a bad team.
No.
Even Cordell Patterson down there on the bench has shown signs of some serious life this year. Him and Mike Davis in that backfield both look better than I thought either of them would.
I don't like Mike Davis.
You don't like Mike Davis?
I don't like Mike Davis in that backfield. Because he's not getting the reason last year Mike Davis was a relevant guy until his legs gave out on him because they were throwing him the ball at like a Christian McCaffrey light. Well, they're not doing that this year because it's all going to Cordell Patterson. So where's the upside? You know what I mean?
Well, and she's in that tricky spot of having both of them on her roster.
I know.
So then you're stuck with. You're definitely not starting both of them any week that ever exists.
It's so hard.
So then you're stuck picking between the two.
It's so hard to play Cordell too because it's like he could have 100 yards receiving. He could have nothing.
Here's the stat though. He is the running back 12 through 3 weeks.
I think Erica might be here.
Did you hear that though?
Yeah. What'd you say?
Cordell Patterson is the running back 12 on the year.
That's
running
wild.
back 12?
Yes.
Oh, hey. The dog came in, folks. Erica's here.
Sorry.
We're talking about...
No, you're part of the
Come on in. Producer's back.
You told me to,
after a lengthy absence.
He told me to come here, so...
Welcome.
We're talking about your matchup. It's a good time.
We are. This is good timing for you. I didn't know you were swinging by. I'm glad you're here because we were just saying...
How terrible.
No, actually the opposite. How your team looks a lot better than the results that you've been getting.
And Marquise Brown dropped 3 touchdowns last week.
Yeah.
All I have to say is, why a man great till they gotta be great, right?
Yeah.
Come on. Sorry.
Of course, we'll get the Lizzo reference, folks.
But okay,
else?
on the flip side of Erica's team being better than what it's showing, I don't know if I was a prisoner of the moment or what, but like Todd's team I like, And I said a couple of times before, I'm like, oh man, Todd's gonna be real nasty, but like, I don't know.
What happened to Tyson? They were playing Latavius the whole game.
Do you guys want any of these?
Which is, I'll take one, babe. Also, nice to see you, babe.
Yeah, nice to see you too. I haven't seen you for a second.
I know. It's been like 2 weeks. Anyway, yeah, Tyson. Let's wrap this up. Where this is like we got interrupted a little bit, folks. So we're back.
Tyson
in here.
Williams getting 2.2 points.
Yeah.
In Detroit.
In Detroit.
In Detroit.
After Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
Drops 4 TDs on him. What's up with that?
I don't know. I don't think Tyson Williams is that sexy of a pick.
I think that also Devonta Freeman was on the field.
Yeah.
How many carries did Devonta? What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't.
Maybe they're spelling him. I don't know, man.
I do not want any piece of Baltimore backfield right now.
There's too many. There's also too many touchdowns that are going to go Lamar Jackson's way.
It's true because it should.
Yeah, and then Latavius is a proven commodity at the goal line. So if you're not
Freeman with 3 carries in Detroit, just 3.
He was, but how many snaps though?
I don't know.
Because I think he was on the field a lot more than he should have been. I mean, that's 3 carries too much for Devonta Freeman at this point in his career.
God, you're right.
You know, I mean,
right.
He's washed. As great as he was, he's washed. And it hurts. It hurt. The Robert Woods, man, he made the trade for Robert Woods too. You got to think that they're gonna get Bobby Woods going more at some point, but like, well, the joke in the fantasy football community has been that like Bobby Woods needs to get his ass to breakfast with Cooper Kupp and start building some rapport with Matt Stafford, because apparently before every practice, Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp have one-on-ones at breakfast.
I'm saying that Cooper Kupp and Matt Stafford's wives are best friends at this point because
they're making a lot of money together. Let's say that.
Are.
Like they're hitting bonuses, and we're 3 games into the year here.
Yeah.
So
those two, it is not the Kupp and Woods duo, as I always kind of felt that way about them. There's a one guy, and then there's another guy.
Well,
which is crazy because that completely changed with the new quarterback. Because it was a 2-man system last year.
Yeah.
And I had Cooper Kupp on my team, and every week watched him get outperformed by Robert Woods because they just different mindsets.
It's a classic case of 2 Rams, 1 Cup.
Oh.
It's a good note to end on.
I was saving it. Had to get it in there.
Oh no!
You're welcome.
Ram your
and that will be Todd's name. That's
We're just gonna have to take Pitts out of it if Pitts continues to put up 3 points a week.
Yeah, they should be using Pitts more. I don't know what they're doing. It's all going to Cordarrelle. You know, there's a lot of correlation between like running back targets and tight end targets because they're always like close to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, it's in the same part of the field.
Yeah, they're all going to Cordarrelle.
Mm.
That's where I mean, Cordarrelle had 100 yards and Pitts had what, like 30? So I mean, that's where all the yards are going. And so it's strange that you have that dynamic of a tight end and you're not getting him more involved, but.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's just lack of experience on his part? Do you think that it's just bad system?
Well, tight end is
rookie tight ends like.
Yeah, historically, it's one of the hardest positions to be great at out the gate. Like, who was the only other one that was like, was it Gronk that had a good rookie year?
I mean, I don't know what his rookie year was.
It's rare.
Yeah.
Like Hawkinson, even as abysmal as his rookie year was, had one of the better rookie years as tight end because he had a few games, you know.
I get that.
So I think that's just a lesson about rookie tight ends.
Yeah, I don't like them, even if they are crazy talented as Kyle Pitts is.
Yeah. You got anything else to say, folks? Week 3.
I mean, we can touch on standings. Looks like there's going to be 3 undefeated teams after 3 weeks.
I would love to touch on standings.
That's what I'm doing.
I bet
one
you,
of them is Cody. One of them
fucking
is,
would.
And then the 2 Allens. The 2 Allens and the Cody are the undefeateds after 3 weeks.
It feels good being on top. Not gonna lie.
I like to see Allen out there again. He had a great year last year, and he kind of fell short. And it's nice to see him continuing the momentum. Mm-hmm. I will say
true.
that.
He's always got a good team.
He does.
He's always got a good team.
You know, I like that.
He's got strange strategies, but like I mean,
it works
he performs.
out. Yeah, it works out.
I haven't seen him get
results
a championship out of it
driven,
yet,
right?
but you know, like he's always there. He's always in there. He's sitting at the top of the list.
It's always one of those teams like week 14, 15, you're looking at everybody and you're like, oh man, that one's going to be tough to beat.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
It's going to be a real struggle for me to get to playoffs, folks.
Yeah,
I have not missed the playoffs since the inception of this league.
Yeah, well.
This might be the first year.
The swamp might get you this year.
Right now, I'm fucking breaststroking through the fucking weeds, trying to breathe for my life. I'm getting chased by a couple of alligators, man. I'm barely.
Yeah, it's
if
not
you
good.
If you want to trade for Nick Chubb, you let me know. You might need to
trade back for injured CMC.
No,
sure, I'll take him for next week. Are we trade back again? Come on, man.
Old fashioned
Yeah.
Nigerian buyback.
Yeah. Nigerian buyback.
And then,
I got a Nigerian prince that needs some help with his running back.
oh, Jesus.
This is our
okay.
first goods reference of the podcast, and that needs to be noted. So
Goods.
yeah, the goods, the Nigerian buyback one there. B-list comedy from like 2005. Would recommend Gary Sanchez Productions. Y'all go see it.
All right.
Go check it out.
Also, a little plug here for. Sorry to cut you off. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just gonna reference the fact that you will see Will Ferrell falling to his death dressed as Abe Lincoln holding a big purple dildo in that movie.
Will Ferrell's in this movie?
It is a Gary Sanchez production, and that is his studio.
Oh, we're in this bitch.
Yeah, you should check that out.
All right. Well, also plug for you sci-fi nerds out there. Dune, the legendary novel by Frank Herbert, sci-fi.
Coming to theaters so soon.
Coming to theaters October 22nd, folks. Get out there and watch it.
I'm gonna go see it.
Fantastic
in
story.
theaters, that's for sure.
You're goddamn right.
I can't wait to see Dune.
But the books are always better.
I haven't read the books, so I gotta be surprised.
With modern cinema and that great of a story, let's be honest, folks.
It's true, because if you watch the latest Star Wars trilogy, like, there was really bad plot development because of 3 different directors.
But it looked
that one
fucking sick.
But it looked fucking sick.
Yeah.
It looked fucking sick. And the music, it was. The cinema was good.
Well, the trilogy's
Storytelling
one
was
thing, too,
bad.
though, versus one 3-hour-long production. You can put a whole lot more of those details into 3 movies than you can into 1. So
I hope they make Dune like a really full feature long film like it should be, because that's like a in-depth. The first Dune was like 4 or 5 hours long. Now we don't need it to be 4 or 5 hours long. Like solid 3 though. Solid Lord of the Rings.
I would watch a 4-hour Dune movie.
Absolutely.
I would watch a 10-hour Dune movie, but not everybody's me.
That's true.
You know?
That's true.
So, I just love that story.
So we know that Patrick and I play next week. You play Bailey. Any words for your upcoming opponent?
Any words for Bailey, who's going to be sitting at 1-2?
She's got her team put up points, man. Better watch yourself.
Oh, I'm so sorry that I have to watch myself against the 1-2 Go Home Bears squad.
Cannot wait for the Go Home Bears to go home right in that butthole.
Oh, yeah?
On Cody.
That took a minute. You must be exhausted from that journey.
Hey, we've had some good jokes here, folks. Not all of them are winners, all right? Hey, remember the 2 Rams, 1 cup.
Okay,
that was the joke of the podcast,
I mean,
folks.
if you're gonna hang your hat on one, that would be the one to do it.
We're doing a joke of the podcast.
Hang my whole
Yeah,
coat
I
on.
mean, we can sure try, but the joke of the podcast next week is going to be Bailey's effort against me. It's going to be 4-0. It's not going to be close, and I can't wait to be sitting atop where the air is crisp yet again.
You know what, though? It doesn't look great for Jones versus Pitt next week.
No, it doesn't.
That's a rough run defense. Who are the boys playing next week?
The Panthers.
Ah.
Yeah.
But the Panthers
Panthers
and the Panthers without J.C. Horn in
Yeah.
the secondary.
The Cowboys should roll that one.
Yeah.
I
don't know who's going to cover those boys.
Carolina is bad. I
They're
do
not-
think Carolina is bad.
They're not bad, but they're down.
Aren't they
they're
3-0?
Of course they're 3-0, but also they played the Texans.
Okay, fair.
Okay, and then they play the Texans. They should be okay. They have 2 quality wins. They beat New Orleans, who are a solid team.
I disagree.
New Orleans?
Think New Orleans is
I
solid?
don't think New Orleans is that great.
I think their entire roster is good, and their quarterback play is okay, and I think they're good.
I think
Coaching's great.
they're a well coached. I think they're a well coached team that plays fundamentally solid football. I don't think they're like they don't have any like superstars outside of Alvin Kamara and like
they're hit
Cam
or
Jordan.
miss. I think they can have weeks where they embarrass Aaron Rodgers 35-3, and they're going to come out the next week and just be abysmal. I think that they can be good, but they're definitely not consistently good.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens when James is your quarterback, though, right?
Mm-hmm. Live and die by the confidence level of that man and the rhythm you can get him into.
The Panthers' defense has given up in 3 games 14 points, 7 points, and 9 points.
Okay,
Again,
so who
Jets,
did
they... Texans, and the Jameis Winston.
Yeah, let's be real here.
Okay.
Let's see them play Dak
They're
Prescott.
going to get shredded.
I mean, yes, this is the best offense that they're going to come across.
By far.
So far. That is accurate. But, I mean, you got to beat who you're lined up against, and I just think they look real good.
We've also seen that the boys can almost win games even when they can't run the ball at all. Mm-hmm. And they ain't going to be able to run the ball next week.
That's true. I mean, they
so,
almost...
bad matchup against Zeke, by the way, okay. Anyway.
It's... I think the Cowboys have a good chance there.
New Orleans is a tough run defense next week.
I think it's going to be a lot more running the ball because they've been doing it so successfully over the last couple of weeks, and that will help my matchup against the CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. I think her point total is going to look from them a lot more like this week than it was from week 1.
Didn't DJ Moore roast New Orleans, though? Did he not roast them in week 2? I'm pretty sure he did. And I would draw a pretty close comparison between CeeDee Lamb and DJ Moore. They're very similar players.
Okay. Where does DJ Moore come in for this?
What I'm saying is, if the Cowboys are playing the Saints next week, Bailey's got Lamb. Okay.
Cowboys are playing the Panthers next week.
Cowboys playing the
Bailey's
Panthers.
got Lamb.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. All right. Well, we got lost in the weeds there, folks.
That's okay.
Moving on. We're mentioning 3 teams. There's a lot of moving parts.
It's
Saints
true.
were involved.
Do we have the schedule up for next week outside of just my matchup? Because mine's going to be over pretty quick.
Yeah. So
Bailey
who
don't
else we
stand
got?
a chance. Suck my dick.
Week 4 is me and Jake, Trish, and Dave. Interesting matchup of the old 1 and 2s there. Bailey and the Butthole Wreckers.
Get wrecked.
The literally average Jake, slightly below average now, 1 and 2, versus the Saquon D's Nuts, 0 and 3, defending champs. Erica against the powerhouse Allen and Dalvins.
Oh man, Erica, you've got to go get yourself a win and knock one of these undefeateds off the pedestal. It's crowded up here.
I haven't had
crowded up here.
any wins at all. I'm really good at losing so far.
You found some creative ways to do it.
Yeah. You did. You did. You know what? You honestly had a chance this week, and like your defense fucked you, and Marquise Brown fucked you. Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
I was gonna play the other defense, and then
that would have been the wise call.
Listen, it would have been the wise call. They scored 2 points. Let's not.
But they didn't score -8. That's a 10-point swing.
Yeah, I know.
It's true, but when you lose by 29.
Hey.
Yeah.
Well, I got advice from,
Hey.
From the commissioner. Say names.
She got advice from an unnamed source.
Who's? Oh, that's right. It's just you two. What's that? I mean, you guys surely need to put together right now on this podcast.
A buyback trade.
Some sort of like wager between the two of you, don't you? I mean,
we could think on it for a couple of days.
We'll think about it.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to see something.
Can't be the name change because my name's already taken for the next 4 weeks. That billboard has been filled.
Yeah. I own that one.
Huh. I don't know. I don't know what we could do that would be interesting.
All right.
We'll think about it. We got time. We got 3 days.
We got 3 days.
This is running along here, though. Should we sign this bad boy off?
Yeah, we can sign this thing off.
We have done almost nothing to shorten our podcast lengths.
At all.
No.
But we will.
So if you listen to this point,
yeah.
Praise be to Allah.